Football fans are a fun kind of people, aren't they? Some of them are so into it that it's like they're part of the team. When the team wins, it's like they won. When the team loses, they feel like they lost. Some people are such avid fans of a team that even if the team is terrible, they're going to support that team no matter what happens. And others who say that they might even be the bigger fans are huge supporters when the team's doing well and bigger critics when they're having a hard time. There's always some people in the stands that think that they could coach better than the coaches or play better than the players. There's this show on the Spike channel that I discovered a couple weeks ago called Pros vs. Joes. And it's awesome. If you love sports, if you ever wanted to be an athlete, you have to check out this show. It's great. They take these three guys out of the bleachers, these average Joes, and they put them up against these 5 professional athletes in their sport of choice. And so it's like they have to get a rebound against Dennis Rodman, and then they have to go over and play pass defense against Jerry Rice. And then they have to go to the baseball field and they have to out-hit Jose Canseco. It's fun to watch because these Joes come in with these huge egos. They can talk a big game, but they learn really quickly, and they learn the hard way that it's not so easy to go from the bleachers to the ball field. A lot of people have the misconception that athletes are all brawn and no brain. In reality, it takes as much mental preparation as physical to be a champion. The best teams, the best players have spent hours and hours as students of the game. They've studied their playbooks. They know exactly how to react in whatever situation comes up during the game. And they're students of their opponent. They know their strengths and their weaknesses. One of the ways they do this is by studying film. Coaches and players can spend hours and hours watching film of their opponents before a big game. Sometimes they'll analyze the same few seconds of footage again and again and again to try to find a weakness that they can exploit so they can beat that other team on game day. Well, there's no question that a big, rowdy home crowd can have an impact on the outcome of the game. More games are won or lost in the locker room than in the grandstand. I think a lot of video producers think more like fans than like players or coaches. A lot of us got into this because we really like watching TV or film. What we see on the screen looks pretty easy from the safety of our sofas. And so what happens is we watch our favorite shows as fans, and then we grab our gear, and the next minute we're in the game. We're out producing our TV shows or our commercials or our wedding and event videos or whatever it is that we do. And when we get back, we wonder why it is that our stuff doesn't look quite as good as what we see on TV. It's like 1 minute we're in the stands and the next minute we're on the field in the game, and there's nothing in between. And I think we'd be a lot better if we spent a little more time in the locker room, studying and strategizing and planning before we hit the field.
Thank you for that wonderful report on the weather there, Kip Flanagan. Now for our medical report. Your new study shows that creative people tend to share more personality traits with the mentally ill than they do with the middle-of-the-road monsters. The findings suggest that both creativity and...
As a video producer, one of the things I love most about my job is that watching TV is part of it. It's like my living room can be like my locker room. Renting a movie or watching a few hours of TV at night are like studying game film. See, as editors, there's so much that we can gain by studying other people's work, by evaluating what we see and figuring out how it was done and how we can reproduce it in our own productions. And with our TVs and a remote control, it's like we have this never-ending supply of inspiration right at our fingertips. I found a survey on the web by the Nielsen Company that discovered that the average American watches something like 4 hours of TV in the average day. That's like 28 hours of television every week, which adds up to something like 2 2 months out of every year that Americans spend watching TV. So if you think about that, that adds up over the course of a 60-year life. By the time the average American turns 60, he or she could have spent as much as 10 years of time sitting in front of the TV. That's amazing. That's an immense amount of time in front of the TV. Now, the conclusions that you can take from a survey like that, there's all kinds of conclusions. You can talk about how TV influences our society or how it impacts our culture. But what I take from that as a creator of content that's played back on the same screen as those programs is that the people that watch my videos, the people that watch your productions, have seen a lot of TV. And they know if our work measures up or not. Now, turning off your brain and vegging out on the couch with chips on your shirt doesn't accomplish a whole lot. The secret is in what you watch and how you watch. Stop turning off your brain when you turn on your TV. Instead, tune it in and try to figure out how the things you see were made. I think every editor should keep a notepad on the coffee table next to the remote control so you can jot down inspirational things that you see on TV. Search for shows that are similar to the kind you produce. Not just similar content, although that's not a bad idea, but shows with a similar style, a similar personality. TiVo them and watch them again and again and again and study the angles and the edits and the audio. Go frame by frame, like you're studying football film. Analyze scenes to try to figure out where the lights were or where the camera was and how it moves or doesn't move. Study when the graphics come in and how they come in and how long they're on the screen and what purpose they serve. It can help to mute the audio as you watch graphics or look for lighting. And it can help to close your eyes and just listen when you're trying to study a soundtrack. Just be sure that you're watching and emulating good work. There's a lot of stuff on TV, especially at the local level, that shows good examples of what not to do. If you look at it the right way, your TV can be like film school in your family room. There's so much that we can learn as producers to make us better by watching TV actively and studying what we see. The goal is to find inspiration, to emulate, to follow suit, to look for cool, even trendy techniques that you can break down and recreate, repurpose in your own shows. The goal is not to copy exactly what you see, but there's definitely something to be said for identifying good techniques and for borrowing ideas from the best in the business. Compare what they do to what you do, because your customers and your clients definitely will. So stop thinking like a fan and start thinking like a coach. Watch TV actively, take notes, expand your field of view by opening your eyes to see your TV in a new way, as a never-ending source of inspiration.